All right, welcome back. We are those Boston guys. I'm Jack.
And I'm Cam.
I personally am very excited to be back. We haven't done one of these in a while. It's just been we've wanted to do it, but we just never got around to it, and now we're finally getting around to it.
Yep.
So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's just get started.
Yeah.
The NBA announced probably, well, not just the NBA, but also all of basketball announced possibly the greatest basketball Hall of Fame class of all time,
Yeah.
which is headlined
Yeah.
by Kobe, who, unfortunately passed away in January. We've been gone a long time. And then KG, who is a legend here in Boston, and Tim Duncan, who me personally, Tim Duncan is my favorite player who never played for the Celtics.
Cool. Yeah, I like that whole Spurs team. Tim
Yeah,
Duncan, Parker, Manu, like Kawhi on that team. Yeah, Kobe, KG, and Tim Duncan are the big three of that class, and those three in one class is pretty stacked.
I forget who the rest were. They obviously were great basketball players because they're in the Hall of Fame. And I,
Yeah.
I don't want to snub them, but I just unfortunately cannot remember their names.
Yeah. I mean, it's complete. I mean, the class itself is like completely stacked, but it's pretty crazy that Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett all made one class because they're three of the greatest to like ever play the game. Kobe's top three of all time.
Yeah,
Tim Duncan's one of the best power forwards, and Kevin Garnett was a beast both in Boston and on the Timberwolves.
but not in Brooklyn because we stole all their draft picks.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest subs.
They gave us all of their draft picks for the rest of eternity for 1.5 combined years. For 1 year of Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, and then half a year extra of Kevin Garnett.
Yeah,
So it didn't work out well for Billy King and the Russian guy.
yeah, we got some good picks. I think we
But
got Brown and Tatum from those picks, right?
yeah, and also we traded the last one for Kyrie, which
Yeah,
should have been amazing, but you know,
yeah, that
that's
didn't
where
work
we
out.
turned out.
Eddie Sutton was one of the other guys, and Rudy, Rudy Tomjanovich, both coaches. Tomjanovich for the Rockets, and then Sutton. He led four different college schools to NCAA tournament. So yeah,
Yeah. There were a couple of WNBA players. One of them was in the ESPN horse competition, which I think,
Tamika.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Tamika Catchings. I think it was kind of a bust. Mike Conley won, but it was
I don't know.
I
It's
feel like
just
it wasn't that interesting. I mean, it was the only sports thing on, so I watched all of it, but I didn't think it was very entertaining.
yeah, ESPN. I mean, there's not the MJ doc is perfectly timed because something people are interested in, but there's nothing you can do live that people are really gonna like. And
Yeah,
horse is okay, but it just wasn't interesting enough.
because literally everything's canceled except WWE, and I don't think I've ever watched anything. I don't think I've ever watched more than 2 minutes of WWE.
Yeah, I'm not a big wrestling guy.
I saw Ennis Cantor's win and Gronk's win, but only the clips of them winning.
I did not know Ennis Cantor.
He did. He did it
Never
in
heard of
Madison Square
him.
Garden where he used to play, and the guy won, and he was like celebrating, and then Ennis Cantor jumps in the ring and tackles him and pins him, and they give Ennis Cantor the belt, and he lifts up his shirt. He's got his Celtics jersey on underneath. He
Are
gets
you
booed by the
serious?
crowd.
I did not
Yeah,
know.
no, 100% serious. It was like right after he signed.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. I did not know that happened. I knew the Gronk one, of course, but
Ennis Cantor is a very funny guy. He's friends with Taco, who
yeah,
everyone loves, especially
everyone
people.
loves Taco.
And the Celtics really like each other this year. Like
Yeah,
they had a
Kemba.
ton of chemistry issues last year, but now they all like each other, and we're doing better than we were.
Yeah,
What
Kemba
was our record
Walker
last year?
is
49
not
and
as talented as Kyrie Irving, like just playing basketball wise, but he fits so much better and has such a better attitude than Kyrie that I would take Kemba 100%.
yeah. Um, the Bruins were also having an amazing year. And I apologize if you can hear my dog, both to you and the listeners. My dog is barking at something. But
That's
the Bruins were also having an insane year.
they're the
Uh,
best in the NHL.
yeah, and somebody like scoured the rule books once this whole coronavirus hit, and they found that if the season is canceled, they give the Stanley Cup to whoever had the most points, which would be the Bruins. And so
Yeah,
Brad Marchand said he really wouldn't accept the trophy if he did that.
yeah. Even as a Bruins fan, like it'd be cool and all, but you can't. It would, I guess, it'd have to go to official records, but like, has to be some kind of asterisk because they didn't get a chance in the playoffs, and best team doesn't mean anything. Just look at last year's.
Yeah,
Tampa Bay got swept. No one seeds advance. Like it's just anything can happen. So yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
and a lot
great.
of I don't really notice it because I guess it's because I just really like hockey. But a lot of non-hockey fans have told me that playoff hockey is just like a completely different sport.
Yeah.
Like I just love all hockey, so I don't see a difference. But apparently, people who don't watch a lot of hockey do.
Um, I've the thing I think about playoff hockey is that like so much more like intense. Every goal can make or break a series, and it's just not the same feeling as regular season. I don't, as well as you, don't see too big of a difference. But a lot of non-hockey fans just don't watch that much in the regular season and only watch like the playoffs, which I can respect.
Yeah, sometimes every goal doesn't matter. Like I personally was lucky enough to go to Game 7 against the Maple Leafs last year
Oh
because
yeah,
my uncle had made like a joke
is
because the
that the
last
one
two
that was
play
like 7-4 or something like
I
that?
don't know, the last two playoff series against the Maple Leafs had gone to 7 games, and if it had gone to a Game 7, it would have been in Boston. So my uncle says if it goes to Game 7, we're gonna get tickets like as a joke. But then we won Game 5 on Easter, and then we won Game 6. And on Easter, he was there. He's like, "Crap! Now I'm gonna have to buy tickets." And so my mom comes to me in the next few days, and she says, "Would you want to go to this game?" Because originally my mom and my dad were supposed to go, but my dad is like, "No, Jack can take my spot because he just wants to be a
Yeah.
good." He's been to Bruins playoff series, and he has a jersey of a Bruins player from the 80s or 90s. His name is Jay Miller. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but my dad wears the Jay Miller jersey to every Bruins game he goes to. He's worn it for like 20 years.
Really?
It's still in amazing condition. But
Yeah.
he let me wear it. I was the first person to ever wear it that wasn't my dad.
Really? That's
So
pretty cool.
I wore my dad's Jay Miller jersey to the game, and we actually got like box seats. My uncle had some pretty nice seats lined up.
Yeah.
I think it was 5-1 at the
It's
end of the
five
game.
one. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
5-1.
it was Patrice Bergeron. It was an empty net. It was 4-1. It was an empty net at the end of the game, and Bergeron had the puck, and he was going up, and the time was ticking off the clock, and he scored like right as the horn sounded. And the concern wasn't like did we win or anything, because like obviously we won
I do remember that.
when we're
Yeah,
up 3 goals with 30 seconds left. And they review it and review it, and then finally they say no, he scored with 1 second left, and we're all like going crazy. Actually, at that game, I looked in the box next to me, and there was Marty Walsh.
that's awesome. That's sick.
So I actually got to meet Marty Walsh at I think it was the second intermission.
Really? That's
So
pretty
yeah,
cool.
not only did I get to go to a Bruins playoff game, but I met the mayor of Boston. So I'm I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
One of one of
that's
my
pretty
top
awesome.
achievements in my life.
All right.
Looking into the future, some seasons that didn't go so well. Um, the Patriots lost their all-time QB, Tom Brady, and we are very, very, very sad.
What do you think? What do you think about their situation right now at quarterback?
Well,
As-
there's all the rumors of Andy Dalton coming here, which by the time this podcast is up, he'll probably have signed somewhere. Maybe he won't. Who knows? Um, but Andy Dalton just got released, and there's all the rumors that he's coming to the Patriots. and
I I don't like it.
personally don't want it. I
He's
think Andy Dalton is very underrated.
he's he's mediocre at best. He's led them to the playoffs a few times, but he hasn't won. Um, I think Stidham has a lot of potential. I think that's great value in the fourth round last year, and I think he deserves a shot. Um, obviously, I heard like Reggie Bush mention it, but obviously, if Rogers became available some way because of that trade, that was really questionable. The Packers trading it for Love.
Jordan
But
Love, yeah.
I like Love, but I don't know if he's the right fit for the Packers or when they have Aaron Rodgers. I'm just not sure. But if we could anyway grab him, that'd be great. And Deshaun Watson is actually one of the favorites for our quarterback next year.
Yeah, I was surprised um, when Bill O'Brien exercised the fifth-year option on Deshaun Watson, because Bill O'Brien, as seen by this offseason, I don't think he's the smartest general manager in football because he's the general manager out there. I don't
Yeah,
think he's the smartest general manager. Some people will use much more harsh language, but
yeah. Bill O'Brien's not exactly the best.
I thought that Bill O'Brien was just going to keep being an idiot and not exercise that option, and Deshaun was going to come here in free agency when we have like 100 million in cap space.
Yeah. Um, I'm looking here at the betting odds posted by the Score 1 month ago, and the best odds right now are just Sean Watson at plus 350, and then Stidham, Trevor Lawrence right after that, which is interesting. I would love Deshaun Watson. In my opinion, he's the second best quarterback in the league besides Mahomes. And
Really,
yeah,
you think he's better than Lamar?
I do.
I
I
think
think
Lamar is going
Lamar.
to get hurt, and he's not going to be that
That's the
good.
thing. He's a running quarterback, and everyone was talking about all his like quarterback like throwing stats and stuff, and how he had a really good season with touchdown passes, but the only reason he's getting those throwing numbers is the threat of his legs. It's not like he suddenly became an elite throwing quarterback. And I think, although he probably has more talent than Watson, one knee injury, one leg injury, and he can be done. And I just don't think he can throw the ball well enough to be a quarterback with not that much mobility.
But yeah, so in 2021, the Patriots would have 100 million in cap space, and some of their free agents, I don't think they'll resign. Joe Tooney, who we franchise tagged, I think he's going to leave for some really big deal because he's very good.
Yeah, sort of like a Van Noy situation.
Hightower is 31. I think he'll retire. I don't think we'll bring him
That
back.
I don't think he'll play anywhere besides New England.
Yeah.
He'll either
Um.
we've got Sanu.
Yeah.
Sanu, he's gonna be very old as well. He's 32
Really.
now.
Yeah.
Um, Jason
Jason
McCourty
McCourty.
definitely. I
I
think he's
think we'll give him a
34. He'll
1 year
probably
deal.
retire.
I think we'll give him a 1 year deal so he can retire with Devin
That's interesting.
because Devin signed for 2 more years. Uh, James Devlin was supposed to be a free agent that year, but he retired this year instead.
Yeah,
You,
I love James Devlin. I have his jersey and everything. And
uh, James White is going to be, he's 29 now, so he'll be 30 by then.
I think he'll stick around.
I don't know how much he has left. I love James White. I don't know if he's that much. I mean, he's only making $4 million a year, so if we get him on the same deal, maybe he'll stay.
Honestly, I think he could even get a pay cut in a way. He's very old for a receiving back. 4 is a lot, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind him at 4. He's been a pretty big part of our team.
David
Rex
Andrews.
Burkhead. I think he'll retire. He's 31. That's
Yeah,
old for a running back. Um,
David Andrews, our center, who was out all year because of blood clots in the lungs.
See,
I
blood
really like.
clots in the lungs is not exactly great. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something.
he's committed to coming back, but if if he's gonna retire for health related reasons, then that's the only time I see him retiring. I
Yeah,
think he can have like a Pro Bowl season.
yeah.
Devlin wants to have a Pro Bowl season.
Devlin was one of the best fullbacks. There's not that many, but he was definitely up there.
Some
I
guys
think he was the
on our
best fullback.
defensive line, Lawrence Guy and Adam Butler, they're also
What
free agents.
about what about J.C. Jackson's a restricted free agent? He's
Yeah,
he he did really good last year. I think. I mean, behind behind Gilmore, he could be our cornerback 2 this year.
yeah.
I guess maybe McCourty. He could be fringe 3, but
Brian
I
Hoyer is
think he's a
free
lot
agent.
of talent, and I think the Patriots should definitely keep him around.
I think Brian Hoyer will retire at the end of his contract because he is 35 years old, and I feel like he won't get another job.
Yeah, the stint with the Bulls didn't. But why did I say Bulls? I mean Colts didn't exactly work out.
Yeah, and then Jakob Johnson is a exclusive rights free agent. I
I don't
think
really know
he's
what that means.
criminally
Yeah.
underrated. Jakob Johnson is I think he's a good replacement for James
For
Devlin.
Devlin,
He's
yeah.
from Germany. We got him through the international player program. He was like the first guy.
Really? I actually have not heard of that.
He is. I thought he was very good in the one game that he played, and then he like got a shoulder injury, was out for the year. That's why we had a Landon Roberts at
What
fullback.
about Vital though?
I think I don't know anything about him. All I
Yeah,
know is here. He used to play in Green Bay.
yeah. I think they're definitely covering Devlin's loss well because Devlin was a big part of that power run game.
Yeah,
When you went with like him and LeGarrette Blount in the backfield a few years ago, that was pretty scary. All right, what do you think about the NFL draft?
I really liked the draft. Joe Burrow. My grandfather was a really big Joe Burrow fan, and somehow thought that we could get him in some way, but
No.
obviously we didn't because Cincinnati wants a quarterback, and Andy
Yeah,
Dalton was not
this
the answer.
Cincinnati wasn't giving up that pick. I I don't mind Burrow. I think he's a little overrated. I think LSU is one of the most talented teams. You have 2 first round skill players in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who I still think he's the 4th best running back in the draft, in my opinion, behind Taylor Dobbins and why is that name Swift? Um, I don't really know. I guess the Chiefs took a chance on him, and then obviously Justin Jefferson was the 4th best receiver.
Yeah,
And then they have another receiver who's probably going to be an early first rounder next year at LSU. So I think he was surrounded by a lot of talent, and that's going to be a big drop for the Bengals, who have not that much. I mean, I guess we'll see, but it's going to be tough for him.
and then Christian McCaffrey just got that really big extension,
Yeah,
highest paid
not
running back
surprised.
ever.
He's,
I'm not. I think he's their entire offense.
yeah, I'm not surprised about that.
But then someone who I think is going to have a worse season than the Pats, you actually have to look in a different sport and about 30 miles away. Except I don't know if that number's correct. Fenway Park, the Boston Red Sox.
Ugh,
They have not had a good season.
last year was disappointing. Mookie's gone. We have JD, I guess. Pitching's very. I don't know. It's a toss up. It's inconsistent.
Yeah. Um, but Steve Pierce actually announced recently, a couple days ago, maybe like a week ago, that he is officially retiring from baseball. He kind of unofficially retired at the end of the season. He was a free agent and he didn't go
Yeah,
any,
that's what happens a lot of times.
but now he's like officially gone. I really liked him.
He
He
had
was
that one
obviously
game. Didn't
he
he
was the
even
World
have?
Series MVP.
Yeah, he's very good. He just popped off that playoffs.
Yeah.
Um, Another question. Back to the draft, the NFL draft.
Yeah.
What do you think was the biggest steal and the what do you think was the stupidest pick? Like the biggest steal and the pick that was probably pretty stupid for any team.
Who did the Cowboys pick? CD Lamb.
They did.
Yeah, I think he should have gone much earlier. And I feel like I remember watching the draft and Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy were laughing because I think and a lot of people think that it's because they knew they were stealing this receiver from the Eagles. And the
Yeah,
Eagles obviously do not have any receivers.
they got they got they yeah. I mean, they got Jalen Rieger, which I don't know. I think Jefferson's better, but CeeDee Lamb. I don't think the Cowboys had any plans to take him, and then he just fell in their laps. It was a case of he's here, so why not? I like the pick.
I feel like very good they have a very good offense. Will they do anything with it is the question because they had a very good offense last year and they went 8-8 and missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. Maybe with a new coach. Jason Garrett got a lot of heat last year. I wonder how it'll be with the new coach, but
I like Jason Garrett. I don't think he ever led them to anything. He got them like what, one playoff win, but there was
yeah.
all these stories about how he's just a really good guy, but he's not a good coach. And
Yeah, when you have Zeke, Amari Cooper, Dak, you got to do something with that. You got to at least make the playoffs.
if you're a good man but you're not a good coach, you're not gonna have a job. So
Yeah,
unfortunately, I mean, it's not really unfortunate because he's probably a millionaire. So
yeah.
if you have
He's
millions
all
of
right.
dollars to support your family, then you're all good. The
What do you think was like the worst selection? Like someone that
worst
was,
selection.
yeah,
I don't know. I know my dad is very critical of the Patriots selection, their first one in the draft, number 37.
Duggar,
What was his name?
Kyle Duggar, I think.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He was the Division 2 Player of the Year.
Yeah, cornerback. Yeah,
But I was talking about how
decent safety, safety.
we got one good year out of Malcolm Butler, and he was a Division 2 player. So if we only get one good year out of this guy,
I mean, we got a
very
Super
good
Bowl.
year.
Butler.
Well, yeah, but that was one play. I feel like,
Yeah,
but I mean, it was an amazing play. But like, if you, it wasn't necessarily that Malcolm Butler was the reasoning behind that play.
yeah. Still a good player. Um, yeah. I'd say for me the best selection. I'm trying to. This is definitely a little biased because I'm a big Wisconsin fan, but I still think Zach Bond. There's a couple mocks that had him going late first round. He was supposed to be a second round pick. Went to the Saints at 74. And I just think as an outside linebacker, who's one of the NCAA sack leaders at Wisconsin, who's had some pretty good edge rushers, TJ Watt, JJ Watt, I think was a steal for the Saints. And the worst pick, I think, um, I'm gonna say the Chiefs at 32. I don't mind the running back, and I think Hilaire's a good player, but there's so many. There was a few better running backs out there, and I think someone like I would say, even though Jonathan Taylor is my favorite running back in the class, I'd say someone like J.K. Dobbins would be a better fit for the Chiefs. Hilaire reminds me a lot of Maurice Jones-Drew, and I just don't see him fitting in that great with the Chiefs offense.
I mean, I feel like the Chiefs they're very good as it is. I mean, they just won the Super Bowl, and
Yeah,
their offense isn't that old. I think the oldest one is Travis Kelsey, and he's like what, like 27?
yeah, they could have done defense with that pick, to be honest.
Yeah. Um,
And I
Drew
don't,
Brees. The Saints signed Jameis, so he could possibly be their future.
yeah,
I don't think he will be. I feel like the Jameis signing just confirms that Taysom Hill is the future. I felt like they could have built around Teddy Bridgewater, kept Bridgewater as the future.
no, I like Bridgewater's a good quarterback. I don't think his ceiling's that high, but I don't think his floor's that low, and I think he'll be a good starter in Carolina.
I think he's better than Jameis.
I do too. James is very. I get he had a lot of touchdowns. 30 picks is not what you want. I
Yeah.
think Bridgewater's going to be quarterback around like the 16th, 17th rank, or maybe even in the like low 20s, which is fine. I think Carolina got a good quarterback, but we'll see. They still
And
have,
then
they still have Greer, right?
I don't know. Yeah, they do have Will Grier,
Huh. I
but
wonder
they
if he's
lost.
gonna
They
show.
cut Cam and they traded Kyle Allen to Washington.
Huh.
Kyle Allen, who famously killed my fantasy season by being
Yeah.
really good, and then I picked him up and he threw 4 interceptions and was never good again.
He had.
Against
He was
you
doing
too.
great. They still have Kyle Allen too. They do.
No, they traded him to Washington.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is he
And
starting there? He's.
no, it's gonna be Dwayne Haskins.
I didn't like what I saw of Haskins last year, but can't judge.
Alex Smith could come back though, and they actually ESPN made a documentary about Alex Smith, and it drops the night that we're recording this, which is I don't even know what day it is.
May 1st.
Yeah, it's May 1st. Decision day for Adam Silver, who said that he wants to keep the NBA season alive.
See, yeah, but why Alex Smith? Like he's
Oh,
kind of random. I mean, nothing
he's just
against
still
him.
on the roster, and I like Alex Smith. I
I
was
would.
actually angry when they traded him to Washington and said we have faith in Mahomes. Of course,
I started Mahomes. Remember that? Started
yeah,
in week 1.
I ended up being wrong about that because Patrick Mahomes is now a Super Bowl MVP. So
Yeah.
I will say that I'm wrong.
Mahomes, he surprised a lot of people.
But yeah, circling back to the Saints and their future, Drew Brees is obviously what, 41? And he said that when he retires, he signed a deal with NBC to be on their broadcast team. They wanted him on ESPN because their booth
Who
is
wouldn't want?
famously
Who wouldn't
not
want Drew
very good.
Brees? Yeah,
But I really like Drew Brees, and I want him to win an MVP before he retires because I feel like he deserves it. I
he
feel
does.
like he's one of the best
He's always
quarterbacks of all time.
he
With
has
respect
always
to
been a very, very good quarterback, but it seems like he's been consistently like the second or third best quarterback in the league throughout his career, which is very impressive. But he's never really been at that MVP level. But he's a great quarterback.
yeah,
San Diego should never trade him. LA now, but San Diego when they trade him, so
they didn't trade him. He left in free agency.
he did.
Yeah, they let
Oh
him walk.
yeah, I was thinking about the what's his name? Um, other situation. I don't know why I got them mixed up.
Were you thinking of Brett Favre in Atlanta?
Um, I was thinking about the Eli Manning situation
Oh yeah,
because he was taken by San Diego in the trade, but yeah. But he actually didn't he demand a trade, Eli?
yeah, because him and his father were like, no, he's never playing for San Diego.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
kind of hearing stories about Eli and his and Archie's demand that they don't play for San Diego. It reminds me a lot of LeVar Ball, where he just has like he is his son's agent, even though they're now represented by Jay Z.
Yeah. That's such a LeVar Ball move. Jay Z. I'm not exactly sure Jay Z's the best sports agent, but
Well, it's not Jay Z, but it's his company.
yeah. I mean,
Some people this pandemic has have died. I don't know if all three of these people have died because of coronavirus. I know that Kat's mom did.
yeah. She was
Jacqueline, Jacqueline Towns. Tom Dempsey, who was the kicker from the Saints, who had 1 foot.
he got it.
I don't know. I don't think he got it.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't know. He had something wrong with him before though, and he was like 82. He was a world record holder, or he was an NFL record holder until Matt Prater broke it.
Yeah.
They actually changed the rules of him because of him. SB Nation has a good video about it.
The rules of what?
The rules of kicking in football because he had one foot, so he had like a specially designed shoe.
Oh yeah. He had like Tom Dempsey was definitely interesting. Didn't he have the record for a little bit?
Yeah, he had it for like a
No.
lot. Everybody, a couple people like
Who
tied it.
hit the 64-yarder in Denver?
It was Matt Prater, who's now the kicker in Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of the Manning tree. This Manning
And
for
then
Rivers. Ooh, that's. I mean, they're around the same, except Rivers doesn't have a Super Bowl. Manning has two.
yeah, Willie Davis, who is a Hall of Famer and he played for the Packers in the '60s, also died. Not sure if that was coronavirus. I just have him written down on my notes. I feel the need to mention that he died.
Yeah.
And then another thing that is gone forever is the XFL.
Yeah, that's it. Oh no, Willie Davis. Yeah, he had he had been hospitalized with kidney failure, and it's pretty sad. He
Oh,
was a very good player. Back when the Packers were dynasty, he won
yeah,
3 championships, and then he was first 2 Super Bowls.
but yeah, obviously those deaths are very sad, but I am also very sad about the death of the XFL, which is it was no fault of their own. Like the original
Yeah,
XFL, the Alliance of American Football, those died because of poor management.
the
This
AAF,
XFL,
poor management. Tom Dundon, that wasn't. They gave too much power to him, and he just took it to the NHL.
well, that's because what's it called? They had an investor. His name was Reggie Fowler, and he gave like 800 million or whatever to start up the league. But then after week one, he pulled his funding because it turns out he's been running this like fake bank cryptocurrency scam.
Oh, that's not great.
And yeah, he was like hundreds of millions of dollars in debt and he got arrested for it. And they actually, back in January, they gave him the opportunity to plead guilty so he could get like a reduced sentence because he had already pleaded not guilty. But they made an agreement with him so he could change his plea. And then he just didn't do it. He pled not guilty again.
Yeah, that's not
He's
great.
facing up to 70 years in jail. So then they were like,
70?
yeah.
Wow.
So the alliance was struggling, and Tom Dundon said, "I'll invest." And then
Yeah.
he ended up killing the league because they had no money.
He just took control of the league completely.
Yeah, I liked that league, and then I liked the new XFL, which
And the
had
XFL, it's just you need a full season's revenue to move on. They just didn't get that.
yeah, it was a very good product. I really liked it. There was one game between my team, the St. Louis Battlehawks, and your team, the DC Defenders,
Yeah,
where the defender it was in Washington and the Defenders fans made a beer snake where they just took everyone's beer cups and from the front row to all the way in the back of the stadium they just made a snake of cups.
really?
Yeah. That's what they were
I
focusing
think
on
I
instead
actually
of
did see
gameplay.
that. Yeah,
Instead of the game, they were focused on the beer snake and that was very good. I really thought that was very entertaining.
yeah.
And unfortunately the XFL has filed for bankruptcy, so they're coming back. And Oliver Luck actually filed a grievance against uh, Vince McMahon, the commissioner. Oliver Luck was a commissioner.
Really?
Yeah, because of wrongful termination.
Wow. That's not a great situation.
Yeah. And then actually, when we were reviewing our notes, I told you there was a fact that I wasn't going to tell you until we were actually recorded
Oh, yeah.
because I thought you would be so interested in this. I don't remember where I got this, but I have this written down. And I remember when I figured it out and it was just awesome. So the Red Sox lost Brock Holt in free agency, and Brock Star was amazing. He's the only hitter to ever hit for the cycle in a playoff game. in the history of the MLB, which is like over 100 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. He was just like a great utility player.
I remember there was this one story. Um, Brock Holt was out with injury. This was his last season in Boston, but Brock Holt was out with injury, and Mitch Moreland hit a game-winning home run. So there was a tweet, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have the tweet in front of me, but it's basically Brock Holt walks into the clubhouse with an ice cream twist, and he's just licking his ice cream, and he walks by Mitch Moreland, and he says, "Hey Mitch, my mom says good hit," and then
Really?
Brock Holt turns around and walks out of the clubhouse.
Dude, that's pretty funny. Brock
So
Holt, dude.
Brock Holt was the past. Jarrett Stidham is the future.
Yeah, I like Stim's personality.
The thing
I
about
miss Brock Holt though, dude. I
Brock
went to
Holt and
I
Jarrett
went to a
Stidham,
game where he hit like 5 doubles.
Brock Holt and Jarrett Stidham are linked because they went to the same high school.
They did?
Yeah, somewhere in Texas.
Wow, really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Did they really?
And Stidham, my confidence in Stidham has grown. They put him in the Jets game and he threw a pick six, and that really didn't sit well with me for a while.
Stephenville High? Yeah, I know.
But now I've really grown to like him.
Yeah,
I think we can get the wild card seed.
I definitely think we could. I definitely think we can make the playoffs, especially now that it's 7.
And then before we wrap this up, I've done a little like, what if I was Danny Ainge in my head? And I think that this is all hypotheticals because it's all dealing with the future, and you never know what's going to happen in the future. So I think that the Celtics can acquire Giannis in free agency in summer of 2021, and I'm going to tell you how.
Go ahead.
So I think that if they don't make the finals this year, he won't sign his extension. He'll say, "Build around me, or I'm going to leave." And so they might do something, they might not. But if they don't make the finals again, I think he's going to leave. And I think that the major contenders are the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. If like Wiggins doesn't get traded and Serge Ibaka gets some money from the Raptors,
Yeah, the Warriors are definitely one too, but I can't even imagine Steph Clay. To be honest, that's just
I don't want to imagine that. But they'd have to trade Wiggins because Wiggins is on the Derrick Rose rule, rookie maximum, and
he is.
Draymond's also making a ton of money. But I don't think
How did
I
he
don't
earn
think they're
that?
Draymond.
How did Wiggins
He
earn
got it
that?
from Minnesota. They basically paid him to get better. They're like, "We'll give you all this money if you get better," and then he got worse.
And so they I mean, that was a dub for Minnesota. D'Lo and Cat are going to be good.
Yeah, but I think Giannis has talked about how he wants to play with his brothers, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Thanasis is already in Milwaukee with him, but they've assigned him to the G League a lot, so he's not a starter out there or anything. But I think we could trade. Originally, I thought Javante Green and a draft pick to Milwaukee because we have a lot of draft picks in this upcoming draft, which we don't have.
Who? We have that one that was let me look it up. There was
Because
one I remember looking at last year that was like the Grizzlies one.
yeah, we have
We
the
got the
Grizzlies
second
pick as
pick.
long as it's in the top six.
I remember it was top 8 protected last year, top 6 this year, and then next year, if we don't get either of them, it's unprotected.
Yeah, but
And
if
then obviously last year they got the steal at number 2.
if Memphis makes the playoffs with Ja, which they might, um, then they obviously can't get the number 1 through 6 selection. They wouldn't be in the lottery, and even if they are in the lottery, they'd be very low odds. So hopefully, if they do miss the playoffs, hopefully they get between 7 and 14, so we get their pick. But I don't really think we need that pick. I think we have a lot of talent, and we also have Milwaukee's first rounder, which is guaranteed because they're not going to be in the lottery because they already clinched playoffs.
Yeah. Well,
We have
that's going to be a late first round.
we have Philadelphia, we might get Atlanta's pick, but we're not going to because
The Atlanta Hawks.
yeah, the Hawks
I
would have to
think.
go to the conference finals for us to get their second rounder. Otherwise, it goes to Philly.
Well, it's a second round pick.
So it's looking like Philly's going to get that. Yeah, but it's Atlanta, so it's going to be low. So it's going to be like 33.
You're right. It would be like, well, not if we got it.
So that's a miss right there. But we do because Kemba Walker came here in a sign-in trade. We actually got Kemba
Oh,
Walker and the less favorable pick between Brooklyn and New York. So probably Brooklyn Nets second
first
rounder,
rounder or second rounder?
second rounder.
Oh, okay.
And the Knicks would get, or Philly would get the Knicks second rounder. So we could have had, if Philadelphia wasn't involved in these trades, we could have had
Celtics have three
Atlanta
first
and
round picks right now.
Knicks first round picks, which would be like less than 40.
Yeah.
We have our pick, Milwaukee's pick, New York's pick, and Atlanta's pick, all between like 25 and 40.
Yeah. I mean, at that stage in the draft after the lottery, it's more like you're taking a lot of hit or miss players, and if you can get 4 or 5 of those in the draft, the odds that one of them will hit and become a starter role player is pretty high. So
But yeah, so we have three first round picks if Milwaukee doesn't get 1 through 6, and we also have Brooklyn's second rounder. But if we make it to the second round, we have to give our second rounder to Charlotte because that's what they got with Terry Rozier. And
yeah.
but yeah, so that's 4 picks that we don't need.
I don't know why Charlotte isn't in the best position taking on Rozier's contract. I guess they have Devontae Graham, but Rozier's contract wasn't
But
exactly.
yeah, so actually, due to the contract rules, if you're over the salary cap, which every team in the NBA is, you're not allowed to trade more than acquiring 125% plus $100,000 of the contract that you're trading, which Javante Green is paid too little for. So we're not able to trade Javante Green in a pick to Milwaukee for the Nassus. So I say we trade Vincent Poirier instead.
He's a G leaguer, right?
I like him. He's not technically a G leaguer, but we assigned him to the G League a lot. I actually went to a Maine Red Claws game, and it was
Oh
pretty
yeah.
good. But I feel like he's expendable because he's not in the top rotation. I like him, but if we have to trade him to ultimately get Giannis, I'll take that. But another big contender is Miami, and I feel like
Miami's been making moves silently. Bam, Jimmy Butler. It's pretty good.
Joel Embiid posted something back in February, and he said, "You either die as a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain," or something along those lines. And Jimmy Butler says, "I know
Love
a place
cryptic
where villains."
messages.
So Jimmy Butler responds, "I know a place where villains are welcome," and it turned into this whole like speculation. I do think that if
Him and
there is,
Ben Simmons aren't the best fit.
I think that if there is a conflict between Embiid and Simmons, that they'll trade Embiid, which
Yeah.
I don't think is the right move, but I think that's what will happen. So maybe they could send Andre Iguodala back home to Philly so he can retire as a Sixer, where he spent the first 8 years of his career. Except Iggy wasn't too
Embiid
liked when
for
he was in
Iggy is
Philly.
very, very one-sided.
They really like Iggy now because he's a champion, but they didn't really like him in Philly, so I don't know if he'd want to go back to Philly.
Yeah, I
And
don't know.
also, as you said, that is a very one-sided trade because Embiid is
I think if they got Embiid, maybe Bam would go. I'm not sure. It's tough. Embiid's a good player.
but they'd have to trade a big contract like Iggy. Bam isn't making a lot of money.
That is true. But I'd say maybe they'd throw in Iggy for the contract and then give them some young pieces. Maybe like Tyler Harrow.
Yeah. So
I hate Tyler Harrow.
back to the Celtics acquisition of Giannis. His other brother Kostas is a two-way player in Maine, and I don't know if it's all two-way contracts, but I know that all the two-way contracts that I've seen are 1-year deals. But so Costas is a free agent. So I think we let Tremont Waters go because we can never let Taco go. Letting Taco go is like the last resort. You either like destroy the earth or you let Taco go. Then you let Taco go. And only then. So we let Tremont Waters go and we sign Costas to the other two-way deal spot. And then Giannis sees that his two brothers are here. And Gordon Hayward is also a free agent in 2021. So Gordon, I say we let Gordon walk for Giannis. And I feel like Gordon, even though he's very deeply connected to Brad
Yeah,
Stevens, will understand because it's a business and
I'd,
he's probably enjoyed his time here. I've enjoyed him here, but I would gladly take Giannis Antetokounmpo over Gordon Hayward.
definitely. Giannis is a monster.
All right. We probably have to wrap this up soon. So, is there anything you
Yeah.
want to say?
Um, no, I think we got a lot of stuff. We should try get another episode out in about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
The movie
Um,
pot probably dropping with this one on our YouTube and soon to be
maybe
Spotify. And we'll,
definitely within a day, maybe a little bit,
yeah.
but we'll see.
So hopefully we can pump out more of these and it doesn't take, what was it, like 8 months to do the next one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, hopefully no more delays. Hopefully we start going and yeah, please listen and share.
Yeah. If you like it, drop a like. Um, share it. I don't know. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.